So supposed Dragon Ball FighterZ DLC leaks have surfaced online, and advertising the DLC from a poster on Reddit named LeakiLeaks that claims to be a credible source and continues to give examples of times that they have been credible, in which doing so is like cracking a joke and afterwards standing up and applauding yourself whilst giving yourself a giant metaphorical pat on the back. And whilst it's possible that they may have no ill intentions whatsoever and whoever is providing them with their information may be the ones mistaken, these are the supposed leaks that they have been providing us with. Oh, by the way, stick around to the end of the video for a list of my DLC characters I'm almost certain is going to be accurate. But I digress. The supposed DLC leaks include the likes of Base Form Goku, Base Form Vegeta, Broly, Bardock, Raditz and Zarbon. They go on to claim that their friend or source within Bandai Namco has said that the game plans to have support for 2 years and is going to be taken seriously among the lights of introducing esports and various other large claims such as separate paid DLC passes for another 8 characters. Now, let's talk about the DLC that was rumoured in this. First off, where exactly are SSB Goku and SSB Vegeta? The post implies that there are 8 characters coming out and that these are the ones they know of so far. You can assume that Goku and Vegetto Blue are 2 of the 8 characters we've been promised as DLC, and if not, then we're actually getting 10 characters. And it wouldn't be clever marketing to tell your fans you're getting 8 DLC characters with the Fighter Pass, and then go on to say, well, actually it's 10, but we don't like showing off. Modesty doesn't sell games very well. How many times do you hear featuring the smallest fighter roster Dragon Ball has seen since 2008? It's rather idiotic. But let's start with the ones I reluctantly agree with on this list. Broly is very likely, along with Bardock. I don't contest their entries to the rumoured DLC. In fact, I would actually go as far as to say they're almost a dead cert. Their inclusion to the Dragon Ball Z game franchise has been recurring since the days of Dragon Ball Budokai, and omitting them would be a shock. The idea for DLC on these games is to extend the life of the game so that they can make as much money as possible, and of course resell the future as a complete pack. The popularity of these characters will help sell this. However, if these leaks are fake, these 2 characters that haven't been announced yet are an incredibly safe bet to make your leaks look less fake and sound more credible based on their inclusion to games has been almost 100% since the mid-2000s. The entries to this list that seem off to me are these, and this is why. So first off, let's start with Base Form Goku. Okay, but as DLC, somehow I find this unlikely. The Super Saiyan form of Goku is much more marketable, which is why it is featured already in the release of the game. This has been a recurring feature in previous Dragon Ball games, such as the PlayStation 1 title Ultimate Battle 22, and quite a few of the other classic Dragon Ball Z beat-em-ups, such as Super Butoden. So Base Form Goku being released post-launch seems unlikely. Same goes for Base Form Vegeta. Whilst it isn't impossible, Bandai Namco surely can't expect to sell their DLC, especially as their first pack of DLC will need to build hype for the game once the time has passed. Base forms like this are realistically more boring than the Super Saiyan versions and are not going to sell a DLC at face value. Not to mention the fact that if they're already releasing other versions of Goku and Vegeta, such as Super Saiyan Blue, which have already been confirmed and we've seen footage of, this would mean that 4 out of the 8 characters would be Goku and Vegeta. Not to mention if they ever decided to include Vegeta or Gogeta. That would just cause problems. Now let's go on to talk about Zarbon and Raditz. These are incredibly strange additions. Why, if these leaks are fake, would they suggest these 2 characters? Perhaps it's the less hype they build around these characters that they can later claim that the developers changed their minds around the actual release of these characters, and there wouldn't be much backlash from the people who supported these leaks. Raditz's DLC is absurd, one of the least popular characters in the entire franchise, and the first villain of the Z series. Nappa, the second villain of the Z series, is already included. Why on earth would Raditz be DLC? Usually, Raditz's inclusion to the game is due to story requirements met in the Dragon Ball Z story, yet the story mode in this game doesn't start with Raditz and is already completed. With the hype surrounding Dragon Ball Super currently, I really don't see Bandai Namco, trying to sell us a character nobody asked for. Speaking of characters nobody asked for, here's Zarbon. Whilst Zarbon could be an interesting character due to his transformation ability, which may give us the likes of a second character to Golden Frieza that can transform mid-fight, again, why would Bamco expect us to pay for this? Even if Zarbon, like Android 18, Captain Ginyu and Goku Black, is accompanied by a partner like Dodoria for his moveset, this is still really unlikely to sell his character. I don't know about you, but one of my least favourite characters to play as is Dodoria. If Bamco are to release a free pack of DLC for fighters, or even a reduced price pack for fighters, then maybe I could see this happening. Or perhaps a themed pack of fighters, much as we see in the Xenoverse DLC with the GT packs, etc. Perhaps this is a Z pack or a Saiyan themed pack excluding Zarbon, who's just there to say hi in a whimsical manner. The game already features Rose Goku Black, so that suggests that Bamco are already aware of the popularity of Dragon Ball Super. Also, this is the first opportunity for a next-gen console 2D Dragon Ball Fighter game to feature the likes of super characters emitting extreme Butoden on the 3DS. And the later that they leave Dragon Ball Super DLC, the more out of date it becomes, and then fan backlash that they receive consequently as a matter of this. So I am unconvinced by these alleged leaks, but I'm curious to know what you guys think, so leave a comment down below in the comment section and tell me whether you think they're true or false, followed maybe by 8 characters you expect to see as DLC. Now for the characters that I expect as DLC, plus explanations, and I bet you didn't realise you were going to get that. First up, that it is worth noting that this game has been in development for some time, therefore the characters that may be included may be slightly outdated. These are in no particular order for release, so obviously I am guessing, but I also do not expect the characters to be released all at once, so you have to assume they'll be released in pairs or 2 packs of 3 and a pair pack or something of that ilk. So let's start off. Broly. I've explained my reasonings earlier on, but I do expect Broly to show his face. Unless we're actually to see Kale. And I really don't expect to see both of these characters, but this all depends on my later statement I'm going to get to in a minute. Bardock. Once again, explaining my reasonings, I expect Bardock, and I expect one of his alternative colours to be the Timebreaker colours. Arc System Works have put so much effort into the loyalty of this series' games and looks so far. Little Easter eggs like that are always appreciated in this case, and again, to be expected. This could also lead on to be released as a Saiyan pack of some sort. Now the next character is one that I'm sure is going to make it in somehow. Vegetto Blue. We've already received footage of Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta in their attires from the Zamasu arc. This implies that in the mid stages of development, they were during the Zamasu arc. With these characters either being pushed to a late release of DLC to fine tune their movesets, but based on the heavy advertising at the early stages of the game, I expect this is just to sell the DLC for Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. Bamco, of course, have high hopes for this game, but it makes sense that they would have a fallback plan to bring in some extra cash if it doesn't perform as well as they'd hope, and as always, this is DLC. So I'd consider it a safe bet. Vegetto Blue could most certainly sell a DLC pack on his own, with Gotenks being the only other fusion character this far. This is expected. Both Bardock and Broly, and now even Vegetto, could be released first due to movesets already being worked on prior to release. Arc System Works have been so faithful to the manga and anime in terms of moves and design that they would clearly spend time in making these characters as textbooks as possible. Next on the list is Merge Zamasu. This is a controversial one, because if he's included, he'd possibly have his giant purple arm as a transformation, which would be pretty damn cool. With Zamasu's appearance being alongside Goku Black in the game, this would be an ideal inclusion, but at the same time, their inclusion in Goku Black's moveset actually makes Merge Zamasu less likely. His moveset would be ideal for the game, and after a rushed inclusion in Xenoverse 2, this would suffice as good platform to properly incorporate a finished moveset for him. Once more, this is a fusion character. It is likely, with the exception of Gotenks, that fusion characters are being saved, and perhaps even for a fusion DLC pack. If this is released with Vegetto Blue at the same time, I expect it probably to be grouped in with a Trunks bonus colour to make him have blue hair and a blue jacket like in Dragon Ball Super, but that's considering the idea that he doesn't already come with one when the game is released. Super Saiyan Kefla. Now this is a release I expect later on. The first female Super Saiyan Kefla being included is a good marketing tool. Play as Kefla, the first female Super Saiyan for the first time. It's an exciting headline, but you couldn't really have Kefla without Kale at this point. However, with Broly's inclusion, even as a support for attacks for Kefla, I see it more likely that Kale gets chopped. Now I expect the work around this to be that the idea that they're going to release Kefla. Now this would most likely be released later on due to development times, fine-tuning the movesets, etc. But this could also be incorporated as part of a fusion pack. This next one should come of no surprise, Ultra Instinct Goku. Come on, it's a given. His popularity has been unrivaled recently. This transformation has been the most exciting since the Z days, and it's such a change than to have Super Saiyan shoved in our faces. Smart marketing suggests that Bandai Namco will have already been topped off by this form by Toei Animation given a heads up, a while before its appearance in Super to capitalise on the popularity, so it's likely it's been developed for some time, with Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta being dropped as DLC to surprise us for the release of Ultra Instinct Goku later on. With the idea that Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta are also DLC, this takes us up to 8 characters so far, and I know what you're all thinking. Hey Kanji, what about Jiren? Is he really being omitted? No, not necessarily. Let's get to Jiren. It's likely that we could see either Merge Zamasu or Super Saiyan Kefla being replaced by Jiren. If I was to guess, I expect Merge Zamasu to be exempt from this list and to be left out, simply because you could still market Vegetto in a Saiyan pack and save Kefla for the release with both UI Goku and Jiren as the Dragon Ball Super Tournament of Power pack. The only reason Jiren is harder to confirm at this moment in time is because until recently, he didn't truthfully perform all that many moves, and the Arc System Works can't really take on board everything that he's had so far and develop it into a detailed character. But you don't need too many moves for Jiren, because his ultimate attack is clearly to launch into the distance and turn around from the explosion. And his other moves could be quite basic, like a meditative shield of energy and stuff like this. It's going to have to look pretty hardcore in this game, and to be perfectly honest with you, you can have very minimal moves and people will still be happy. This would indeed take us to 8, with Super Saiyan Blue, Vegeta and Goku being released as a pair, 2 packs of 3 characters featuring Broly, Bardock and Vegetto in one pack, and Jiren, Kefla and UI Goku in the other. Expect these at a later date, of course, for fine-tuning and completion times. It would take longer to develop a moveset for all of these characters that have only come out in the show recently. But anyway guys, these are my predictions and reasonings for the DLC, and I feel pretty confident based on these reasonings. What do you guys think? Would you be happy with these as the DLC fighters, and if not, who would you like to see included? Leave a comment down below on whether you feel the leaks are correct, and if not, what makes you doubt them. Remember to leave a like, comment and subscribe for more, and I'll catch you next time on Walking Kanji's Planet. Bye!